welcome to Flosstube 17. I'm Jo, Stitchy Cat Lady 26, and this is my channel mainly about my cross stitch, a bit about my cats, very occasional other cats, and very occasional cats from the shelter where I volunteer a couple of days a week. If you're new here, welcome. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back, and thank you for coming back. Today is Thursday the 9th of June. I am a little bit late recording this video. If I was going to stick to my normal schedule, I should have actually recorded 2 weeks ago, yesterday, but I just really wasn't in the mood. Couldn't really say why, just not feeling it. So I decided to put it off. Initially, I was just going to do it a few days later, then I was going to do it the following week, and then I came down with a cold. I didn't go to the shelter at the weekend because I didn't want to risk passing anything on to the staff there, so I've missed out on my kitties this week. But I've got plenty of my own to deal with. Ozzy's not been in the best of health. He actually spent a full day at the vet because his glucose levels were just continually high every time I went to get it checked. So they actually kept him in for a full day and his level was high all day. So that's upped his dose of insulin, and then he spent a couple of days throwing up. Yay, go Oz. He's fine now. He's got his appetite back. He's eating and drinking fine.
That innovation is what made possible our modern consumer culture by enabling a living to...
So yeah, we did speak to the vets. They said just monitor him and see how he goes, and he looked fine. So right, so what I have for you today, I have a couple of finishes. I have a few whips. Of course, it's been a month basically since I last recorded, so I actually have a fair bit to show you. I have some haul. I've got a list of Flosstubes that I've been watching. I still haven't caught up with everybody, but it has been a catch-up mission. I've got one new Flosstube that I want to talk to you about, and I've got quite a long list on my to be watched section of YouTube, but again, a couple in particular I'm looking forward to watching. So yeah, shall we get on with it? Just let Snowdrop get settled on my lap. Right there, sweet. That's it. There she is. So that, if you were quick, you possibly noticed what I was holding here. So, as returning viewers may remember, at the end of March, I set myself a challenge. I picked 4 whips that I felt I had a good chance of finishing in a couple of weeks each if I spent some focused time working on them. So my plan was to focus on to have 2 at a time. So I'm not brilliant at spending a whole month stitching on one project. I like to change it up a little bit. But I was quite happy spending a week on a project and a week on another one. And I've actually managed it. I've managed to finish all 4 the crosses, definitely. I haven't done any beading, part because I want to go and get some of the Nymo thread. So hopefully I'll get some of that this afternoon because we're nipping up to Bromborough to pick up a picture from the framers. And there's a new Hobbycraft opened in Bromborough, so I'm hoping to persuade the husband to let's just drop in while we're up there. And I never did get around to finishing the backstitch on the peacock, but all the crosses and backstitch are finished on the other 3. The reason I haven't done the backstitch on peacock is because it's actually going to be linked with the beads, so I'm going to do them all at the same time. I'm going to do the backstitch and the beads at the same time. So let's get started with the first finish since the last video, and this is Cryptids by the Witchy Stitcher. This was a stitch along, started last summer. So it's on 32 count Zeus fabric by Jojo Designs. It was part of the Greek Year of Fabrics fabric club. So we've got 1 a month. I didn't actually join in January. I sort of ordered this separately, but Michelle was really helpful in just basically saying, well, I've got this left, this left, this left. So I picked up this one. So each section came out, it was mostly weekly, but there was usually at least 1 week a month where we didn't get a section. I do remember very early on when these two came out, these were the first two, that people were saying, oh, I fixed it, because if you notice the box for this is 1 stitch higher than this. People said, oh, I fixed it, and the designer's like, you know, Meg, Witchy Stitches, like, there's nothing to fix. That's deliberate. They're not supposed to be the same size. And when you go lower down, you can see why. None of the boxes are the same size. And I actually love that about this piece. That there is that variety. It's not just a grid with a design inside it. The frame of each design is part of the design. So I have used some Jodrey variegated threads. So the lettering I've done in Black Widow. The moons down the sides and little star shapes at the bottom were done in Jupiter's Eye and Tom and Jerry. So that was finish number 1 for this video. Finish number 2, quite a special piece for me, this one. It's a Polstitches design, and at the last Polstitches retreat in 2019 there was a gift exchange, and the idea was you sort of something stitchy adjacent, but the idea was not to spend more than £10 really. My gifter went totally over the top. She bought me a Polstitches chart, the fabric, all the threads, beads, metallics, just totally overwhelmed by it. There was also needles, needle threader, and a beautiful carved piece of beeswax in the shape of a rose, which I just can't bring myself to use. It's gorgeous. I do not want to ruin it. So we use Thread Heaven, or Thread Magic now. So the piece was Primrose Spirit. I got the paper chart. I have since bought the PDF chart, so I can put it on Pattern Keeper. There are 2 others in the set, which I've also bought. So now this is finished. I'm potentially going to kit one of those up, but I do have several other Polstitches charts that I also want to do. So this, ladies and gents, is Primrose Spirit. It's quite long and thin. There is an option of beiges for the skin colour. I received the greys, and I did question it because I hadn't realised there were 2 different colourways, and I was friendly with the model stitcher who'd done it in beige, and yeah, they were very reassuring that no, actually that is correct. So she is all back stitched, but she doesn't have her beads yet. I mean, that face is just gorgeous. I believe this is artwork by somebody other than Jo, and Jo's just charted it, but oh my god, isn't she just gorgeous? That floaty skirt. So yeah, all the back stitch is done. So a lot of the flowers need beads in them. There's beads in a headdress, beads on a girdle, and the flowers down by her feet. So yeah, what I want to do is actually get some Nanaimo thread and see how I get on with that. I do have a reel of the very plasticky, quite thick invisible thread, but I'm finding it quite annoying to work with, so I've pretty much given up on that one. Right, I think this might be a good place to pop in my secret project, but it's all going to be photos, I'm afraid, because it's been gifted. My sister turned 50 at the end of May, and a couple of years ago one of my best friends also turned 50, and we've been friends for quite a while now, but we've done a lot of a lot of movie nights. So we did all the new Star Wars films. We've done, you know, particularly on Christmas Eve. My birthday is Christmas Day, so we just sort of got into the habit of going to the cinema on Christmas Eve. So my birthday, you know, we started my birthday together, which was always really nice, but most places they don't do showings that late anymore. You know, we were going at midnight showings. So anyway, I did him a Darth Vader piece, which I've got on Etsy, and I will put a photo up here. I do have a photo of it, all finished and framed. I was putting photos of that on Facebook because my best friend isn't on Facebook, so it was safe. My sister saw it and went, "Oh, is that for my birthday?" Bearing in mind this was literally 2 weeks before her birthday. And I was like, "No, it's for so-and-so." But it planted the seed, and I decided to do her a Vader for her 50th, which was this year. So last year I did a smaller piece of the child Grogu from Mandalorian. It's just the head, the ears. My mum helped me make it into a cushion. That was all in, well, it turned out I did it in 2 threads in the end, which should only have been 1. So I used threads from Mo's Sail. I'll put a picture up here. So the main colour was a thread from Mo's Sail. I can't remember the name of it now, but I'll look that up. And then the inner ears I did in sky blue pink from Karen Water Lilies. I just love that colour name, sky blue pink. When you see it, you'll understand. Mum made it into a cushion for her, and she hugged it. So I thought, test passed. She can have a Vader. Thinking that Vader was going to take longer. Yeah, Vader took me 3 weeks. Again, photo, so what it should have looked like, and the finished product. I did change things up a bit. On the original, as you see, it's a spectrum, but there's no orange. So I moved the red and the violet round, took out some of the indigo, put the purple where I'd taken out the indigo, put the red where the purple was, and put the orange where the red was. I also used variegated threads for the colours, not the grey. I just stuck with the pale grey that it said, but I used the DMC variegated colours, and I'm really rather pleased with the result, and the framing has just set it off brilliantly. I have a really good framers just up on the Wirral in Bromborough, and I've never been disappointed with anything he's done. I love this, but I am seriously thinking of maybe taking that to him to reframe, because that was done by somebody else. We'll see. So that was my secret project, and she really did like it. So that worked. Right. So whips. I've got 4 whips to show you. We'll start with, again, this time, because I'm not trying for finishes, I did stick a bit more closely to the prompts for Magical Stitches, but also to some extent I tried to just sort of make the prompts work with what I wanted to stitch. So I use this for the prompt for something ornate, because the mask is rather ornate, and I put 1,000 stitches in, which is literally this little bit, and I haven't used a single new thread. That was all parked threads. As you can see, there's still quite a few there to work through, but that was 1,000 stitches all done with threads that had been parked. So this is the end of a page. This was the beginning of the page and that was the end. So that Stitches doesn't look like much. This is my oldest whip and this has been ongoing for about 5 years now. Fabric's going really yellow up there. It will need a wash when it's done. But seriously, so much orange. But I do love it, she's gorgeous. My second whip that you will have seen before is Crystallise Stitch Along from Lakeside Needlecraft. Can't remember off the top of my head the name of the designer, but I will pop that in the description. So Amber was finished. This is Obsidian, which is normally like a black, almost glass-like stone. I don't remember ever seeing it with the Beijing, but hey, you know, I'm not the designer. I do have a home in mind for this when it's done, but there's a long way to go yet. I'm a long way behind. I've literally finished Amber and got this much of Obsidian done. That was about 920 stitches. Again, trying to fit in with prompts, but so it was like something you could put in a treasure chest, something that could be easily hidden. So the way Magical Stitches works is if you can't meet the prompt, if you can't fit the prompt, you can do penalty stitches. So if you stitch on your oldest whip, it's the same number of stitches. If you want to work on anything, you know, just whatever you want to work on, then it's an extra 100 stitches. So that's how I managed to get over 900 stitches done on that in 4 days. So I'm quite pleased with the progress on that. And a little dragon for Magnus. This is done on, I think it's 32 count fabric. It could be 28. I don't know the name of it. It came from a grab bag from Polstitches, but it's just a very subtle mottled grey, which would have been perfect for my new start. But I'd already started this, so there you go. There's a total of 12 parts to that. So far 8 have come out and I've worked on 2. So yeah, bit catching up to do on that. Right, the next whip, and this is the one I'm actively working on for the next few days, probably till the end of this week, is Sleepy Hollow from Glendon Place. So I literally picked this up yesterday, done about 160 stitches, so I'll show you where those were. Literally the skull and a bit of green under him, that's it. But look at that skull, that smile, how cute is he? A little bit of backstitch. I don't tend to count backstitch for games. So I can't remember what the prompt was that I got him up for. I'll figure it out. So another Agnes dragon. So the fabric for this is from Polstitches. It came with the magical theme box and it's called Hocus Pocus. This was started as a stitch along with several members of the coven, and it's actually one of the few pieces I know off the top of my head of the start date because we started it on Halloween. We had a video chat for 5 or 6 of us from the coven, and several of us actually started it during that chat. It was recorded and Carrie DNA Geekcrafts has actually put that out there, so if you want to go and have a look at several people with hats or headbands of the Halloween theme, having a data, starting to stitch on the same piece, go and have a look. So yeah, so literally done that bit I'm not even sure whether it's worth putting up a before picture because it's literally that bit. Okay. So, where are we up to? Yeah, new start. So this is much anticipated. With Cryptids having proved so popular, Meg, the Witchy Stitcher, decided to do a sister project called Supernatural. Now that's all I've done, that's all I'm probably going to do until the first creature comes out on the 1st of July. Now this is nothing to do with Supernatural, the show. This is going to be creepies and ghoulies and things like that. So, very similar style to Cryptids. These are the same but with skulls on the top instead of bats. Instead of a filigree bit, we've got candlesticks. Again, I'm substituting some of the colours. The fabric is 32 count Lagana from Polstitches. It's called Rumbles of Thunder. I did speak to Michelle from Jodrey Designs about whether she had any of the Zeus left so I could get them to match, but she didn't have any in stock. She did offer to dye some, but I'm a bit impatient. You know, cannot fault Michelle's customer service one little bit. So I'd already picked this out. I thought, you know, it doesn't hurt to ask the question. If she can, she can. If she can't, she can't. Nothing lost either way. Okay, so I'm substituting the letters again. The thread for the lettering again. This is Jodrey, and that's called Big City. So it's basically the same colours as in the fabric, but darker. So I think that's worked out well. Down the side here, instead of the moons I had on Cryptids, it will be bats. And I wanted to sub again, so I'm also subbing it for these corners, but I'm not really convinced with that one. I will do a bat in that thread to see what happens, but I think I might be rethinking that. This is the thread, and it's gorgeous. You can just about see the blue in that. The problem is there's just not as much blue as there appears on the bobbin. If you look at it open out, that blue is actually showing up better on camera than it does in real life. There's just not enough of it. Well, for that little corner bit. So I'm going to do at least one bat, if not two, see what that looks like before I finally decide to give up on this one and dig out another one. It will be another Jodrey. She's got so many there to choose from that it would be silly to pick anything else. So yeah, no idea what first creature is going to be. I'm assuming it's going to be here because we've been told in the instructions for the frame that, you know, get it all done if you want, but the important bit to get done is this top right corner because that's where the first creature is going to go. So I think I probably will leave it here. Sorry, got a thread hanging. So I might get that thread finished, but because I want to check that back really. I'll probably leave it there or thereabouts until the first creature comes out, and then I'll sort of do the outside frame as I'm working on each creature that's next to it, because I'm weird like that. So that's my new start, Supernatural Stitch Along by the Witchy Stitcher. The fabric is called Rumbles of Thunder, which I thought was quite appropriate for the subject matter. Right. So that's all the things I have to show you as regards whips, finishes and secret projects. So should we do some haul? I'm just going to take a quick break, have a drink and come back and we'll sort of haul out then. Okay, bye. Right, I'm back, so let's get on with some hauls, shall we? So first off, I had my monthly delivery from Jodery. So that is the monthly fabric club. It's the Year of Fabric Club 2022. I've got the bright and dark option. So this month, so May's was called Carnival, which I believe was originally done in 2015. So 28 count Brittany. It's actually coming out a little bit lighter on camera, but not by much. So it's mostly this pink. Then you've got this fabulous blue mottling in the middle. There's actually a bit more detail on it on the camera than I can see in real life. It's almost like a flower shape. So that blue, grey, green colour, it seems to change depending on the light. So it's mostly in the middle, but bits throughout. Again, I don't know what I'm going to use it for. I'll think of something. I just love getting these clubs every month. I'm still doing the monthly 10 threads club. I have completed the regular range. So Michelle switched me on to the tie-dye range. So I've got these 10. Now they've all got white in them, which I think could well be the theme of the tie-dye, because obviously you tie bits up so those bits don't get dyed. But I've got this gorgeous purple and blue, some more fruit salad sweets, turquoise, green. So yeah, they're gorgeous. So again, looking forward to getting some more of those in. So that's just the first 10. So that's the tie-dye range, T001 to T010. Polstitches have released a new stitchery design. It's called the Hedgehog Stitchery. She's got the best eyelashes. How cool is that? Little butterfly on her nose. So I think Joe's suggestions are purple, a pinky purple, 3 shades, sort of alternate the colours so you get the variegated thread effect without actually having to pay out for variegated thread. But I've got so many variegated threads, I'm thinking do the face in browns and just, you know, and literally do leaves in greens. We have an iris in the garden. We've got 3 that are like a burgundy and yellow, and from a distance they kind of look a bit brown, but a really deep rich brown, not a dead on the stem brown. I've got a photo of one of them, so I'll pop that in so you can see what I mean. But I think I'm going to try and actually pick out those colours out of my threads and do the flowers, the bits that aren't leaves and actual hedgehog in those 2 colours, just because they're gorgeous. They look so good together. So I might just try and do that because I think that would work really well. So it comes on printed fabric. So I think that could be a lot of fun to do. So that only arrived a couple of days ago. It was on pre-order last week and everything just all got ready really quickly. So my final piece of haul, I invested in a set of the Nerd hoops. I would have liked the purple, but it sold out and I was too impatient to wait. So it's a set of 4, but the 4th one is already in use. On my magical bookcase stitchery. So it's not quite wide enough. The larger one was, but if anything, it was just a little bit too wide. So it was right at the edge of the fabric. So I couldn't really get a grip on it to give it the tension it needed. But yeah, it's so much easier to deal with the corners when your hoop has corners. So I have done a bit more on this since you last saw it. I've finished these houses, I did on these, star, and I've completely redone the shelves. I'd done quite large back stitches on those and I really wasn't happy with them, so I just undid them. Used the same thread again, much smaller back stitch. But yeah, the nudge hoop, because it's quite thin, it's on the square so you can get into the corners. Yeah, I think they're going to turn out to be a pretty good bite. Not the cheapest. Set of 4 I think was £24 from Amazon. But one of the things I really like, I haven't yet got it. They've got size information, so that gives you the size from there to there. Well, that might be easier to show you. So yeah, I've got the size information. So 95mm there to there, 110mm there to there, and it is actually on both sides. Quite easy to unscrew. You do need to unscrew it quite a long way, and it's quite a gentle curve there. I'm still not 100% convinced about putting them over other stitches that are already done. But that is quite a gentle curve, so I don't think it'll do that much damage, if any. So, yep, that's those. And that is all my haul. So, let's just do a quick recap of the Flosstubes that I've watched or plan to watch. I got a bit behind with my usuals. So I've had a bit of a catch-up session while I wasn't too well last week. So I watched 2 Rowan with Stitches videos. Amber, just some gorgeous stuff as normal. And since my catch-up, I've noticed she's actually put out another couple of videos just yesterday, today, but they're Flosstube extras, just to look at all her sew to stitch patterns. So yeah, that could be interesting. I've also watched 2 videos by Steph, Total Stitcher. She's got some brilliant cat content on her videos, like teeny tiny baby newborn kittens. Steph helps look after some strays. Her and her roommates look after some strays, and one of them gave birth in their house. So yeah, quite a lot of kittens, and they're just gorgeous. They are just gorgeous. Still doesn't make me want a kitten, but yeah, they are gorgeous. Apparently the calicos are the feisty ones out of the kittens. Go figure. I've also watched Stitchy Rin. She does slightly more frequent shorter videos, so they're quite fun. She's producing a lot of her own patterns at the moment, computer game based. So she's done a stitch along, Keyblades of the Kingdom, relating to Kingdom Hearts. There's a group on Facebook, go and give it a look. I never did computer games at that time, so it's all like, but some of the keys that I've seen her do, they're just beautiful. So I'm tempted to get them just to do those regardless of the references, they're just a piece of art, you know. Some of them, especially since some of the ones that she's done is, you know, free. She is also, she's also released several charts recently that she is asking a minimum $5 donation to go towards her local LGBTQ community centre. So go give that a look if you want to support. I've also watched Wolf Down the Rabbit Hole Jan, her second video since her return, and oh gosh, so many nice projects, so many that she's currently doing, but also she shows some of her older ones in the latest video, so that's worth a look. Yeah, some proper inspiration there. I've got one new Flosstuber that I've watched, Shannon Christine Designs, who is one of my favourite designers, and she's just lovely to talk to. I was having, not issues, but there was one of her designs that called for glow in the dark Krynic, and I was like, well, can we do this instead? Can we do that instead? Can we do this? And she was just so helpful by email and messages, you know, really, really helpful. So it's lovely to see her on video, because she's not just talking about her design, she's also talking about her whips, her stitching history, and it's just lovely to put a face to the name. So I've only done one large piece of hers yet. I have several bought and waiting to be done. So I stitched the Witch Luna, and I'll put a photo up here, for a friend's 50th birthday present a few years ago, but I didn't quite get it finished in time for the birthday, so I made sure I did her a card that was in like a little freebie booklet that came with one of the magazines, and I hadn't realised until I'd finished it that it's actually another Shannon Christine design, so that worked out brilliantly. So yeah, I'll pop both of those up. She has a group on Facebook, and now she has a Flosstube, so yeah, go give that a look. I'm really looking forward to the next one of those. So I have been saving quite a few Flosstube number ones to my watch later list on YouTube. I've just not had the concentration span to sort of spend the time to get to know somebody new just yet. I'll get there, but I want to mention one in particular that I'm really interested in watching. We've been following each other on Instagram for a while, and yeah, another one is really nice to put a face to the name, even though I haven't quite watched it yet, but I will, I promise I will, and that is Kitschy Whips. So again, I'll put the details in the description. And Ilonka is back after a month away from cross stitch, so I'm really looking forward to seeing what she's been up to craft wise in the last month. I've seen a couple of little bits, including a crocheted lighthouse. She really likes lighthouses, so yeah, I'm looking forward to watching that. So maybe later today. Now I'm actually working tomorrow and Saturday, back at the shelter Sunday morning, Monday morning. I don't know how much time I'm actually going to have to do all this, but I'm going to try. Oh yeah, hair. Had the haircut. It got to that annoying point where you sit back in your chair, and if you want to move your head, you've got to move your whole body because your hair's trapped. And I just find that really annoying. I like long hair, but when it gets to that point, it just gets really annoying and it's got to go. So it went. So it's not dead short, it's layered. So long at last before I start growing it again. Oh, hold on. Yeah, already have. It's only been done 2 weeks. So yeah, we'll go see what happens. My sister's 50th birthday party was a lot of fun. I spent, literally at one point I was on the dance floor for half an hour straight, and I haven't done that in 5-6 years. So yeah, that was fun, but I hated the next day. So what do we think? Do we think go back to the 2-week schedule, or maybe do a month again? Because I feel like I've had a lot more to show you. It's lasted longer. We'll see. We'll see how I feel in 2 weeks. So for now, I shall say, look after each other, be kind. Be kind to animals. These little ones are just so helpless a lot of the time. Adopt, don't shop. Shelters are just rammed at the moment, and it's kitten season. They need all the help they can get. So let's do something nice for somebody else in the next week. So pop a comment down below what you've done that's nice that you've done for something else, for someone else. Never know, might give somebody else some ideas. Right, I'm going to go get this all edited together, various photos put in, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.